So you are, well, I guess, first of all, guess you need to introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm Jeff Van Sickler. I live in Rogers, well, it's actually Little Flock, Arkansas. It's the northwest corner of Arkansas. Headquarters of Walmart is in Bentonville. I moved out here 1990. I moved to Arkansas in 1995, and I moved to this house in 2000. So,
Gotcha.
been here a spell.
Yeah, so 1995, so where'd you move from?
I was stationed in 29 Palms, California at the Marine Corps base.
I know where that is. I've been there.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I spent 6 years there.
Well, thank you for your service, man.
You bet. It was my honor.
And yeah, I'm yelling. I don't know. That's my natural state, is yelling. So tell us about yourself, Jeff. What do you do other than carve signs?
Well, let's see. My day job, at least for another week, is I'm in IT. I'm in an IT department, so I build. I write computer code, build reports, validate data. Nothing extravagant. My fun time is wood. Is working with wood. My wife bought me a scroll saw. Let's see, I guess 5-6 years ago. Bought me a little Craftsman scroll saw, and I started off just getting addicted to scrolling wood. Yeah. And that was after about a year of whittling and carving wood by hand. Wow. And so I really enjoyed the scrolling, and then I upgraded that saw, and then my wife says, you know, I want to build some jewelry boxes. So we started watching videos on jewelry boxes, and so we bought a great big bandsaw. And so it's just been one thing, you know, kind of play with wood here, play with wood there. Yeah. And just really enjoy it. And my son had asked me for it's a cabinet to hold his police vest. He was in the police academy. And he sent me this link to one that was for sale on Etsy, and said, Dad, you know, it'd be really cool if you could build something like this for me. Yeah. And I'm looking at it and like, well, okay, you know, that's some routed work. So I got, you know, I've never done freehand routing before, and I don't have a CNC machine, and I'm not about to go buy one. And so I come across your videos on YouTube, and then I was, of course, super addicted at that point. I'm like, yeah, this is going to happen. And so I think I probably watched, I don't know, the day went by so fast. I just watched video after video of you carving and taking notes and writing down bits and what you use them for, and then watching you as you lift your route. You've got a finesse that is just unbelievable. And people, you know, you make it look so easy. It is not that easy. And so I'm watching, and I'm like, okay, well, he's lifting his router. Why does he do that? And so I get over there and I'm practicing, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's why he does that. And but it's been a lot of fun. And so that my piece for my son that I sent you, the police with the Punisher emblem. Yep. That was the very first piece I'd ever done. Really? Yeah. And I really enjoyed doing it. It was a lot of fun. It's addicting. I have not broken down and modified my router by cutting out a hole or putting any lights on it. I do it out. I basically do all my routing just outside my garage. That's where I'm at now. And so I've got plenty of ambient light. Yeah. The sawdust is, you know, you gotta get, yeah, but it is what it is. Yeah. But so are you using what kind of router are you using? The DeWalt. The DeWalt, the 611? Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. I had that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff. I had that before. I was using it. So in fact, I just used, well, I've upgraded since then. So if you go to Facebook and you search, I think you're a follower, Van Sickler's Hobby on Facebook. It's basically from the very beginning where I was carving miniature pieces to then my wife and I started doing a local farmer's market where we would sell our boxes and tablet stands and phone stands. And so this is the base plate for one of the tablet stands and do the routed edge. And so I was doing my routed edges for all my tablet stands and doing roundovers and Roman OGs and different depths. And so I plan on incorporating some freehand routing work into the mix. I don't know if I'll continue to do the farmer's market. We skipped last year because of the pandemic. I think we were there the year before, but we ran out of product really quick, and I just didn't have that. We were taking care of my wife's stepmom at the time with cancer, and so it was really tough to replenish stock and everything. So we ran our last showing. We hardly had any product left, but it was great. The people here at the Rogers Downtown Farmers Market they've just responded with kindness, and they love listening to us talk about. We get excited about the wood, so we order exotic hardwoods from a cooch out of Wisconsin. And so we work with Purple Heart and Wingay and zebra wood. Well, we don't work with zebra wood anymore. My wife found out the hard way that she has a very allergic reaction to zebra wood. And we ended up in the hospital one night at 1 o'clock in the morning. She couldn't breathe. It locked her lungs up.
Oh, gosh.
We don't work with zebra wood anymore, but we work with babinga and bloodwood and canary wood. Lots of really beautiful woods. And so we get excited talking about those. But I've got a whole stack of stuff over here. We're getting ready to do our own version of it's going to have the leash holder. So I scrolled out the paws are all scrolled out so I can stick my finger in there. And then I'll freehand route the names on them.
There you go.
So yeah, mixing a little bit of medias here with scroll work and some router work, but play with some wood.
So your wife's into the woodworking and crafting and stuff too, then?
Yeah, she's my blessed designer. So I tell her, this is kind of what I have in mind, and she works at it and builds out a design pattern for me, and she usually comes down and lays out the patterns and tells me where to start and guides me, and we love working together.
Yeah.
That's Vicki is kind of the same way. We work on stuff together, but I always want her input because sometimes she'll see something that I don't see, or give me a different perspective that I hadn't thought of. So yeah, anytime you can do that, you're so much better off. Because sometimes you get in a mode of just doing it yourself that you don't look at it from a different perspective, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's a tunnel vision. You just it's almost you just get into a super focused tunnel vision. So we love the woods together, and we love you sand it off or you hit it with that first coat of mineral spirits and watch the grain pop out, and you just ooh and ah and marvel in it a little bit.
Yeah, we do the same thing.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you're making stuff for sale, women are really the buyers. So you want a woman's perspective, because they're the one that's spending the money. The guys are all tight. They won't spend any money. I can make that or whatever. They won't spend any
Sometimes.
Yeah. The women
Sometimes.
are that are buying crafts and stuff. So, it makes sense to have that perspective for sure. So I want to go back just a little bit because you said something for the next week or so. So I caught that, but I kind of let it go. But I want to come back to that. So
Are you retiring?
Are you retiring or starting a different job or what?
The answer is I've resigned.
Oh.
I've given my notice, and so next Tuesday is my last day with the company I'm at.
Okay.
I'm gonna lay back and do some woodwork and enjoy my grandkids. And you know, a year ago I had zero grandchildren. I now have let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 in heaven. So I have 5. So I went from 0 to 5. And it is, I love being Pappy J. There's nothing like it in the whole world.
Yeah.
Now,
Pappy J, like that.
Pappy J. I'm Pappy J. Pappy J, and my wife is Mima T.
That's fun.
Very cool. Good for you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna lay back. I'm gonna take it easy. I've got something in the works here where I might pick up a part-time gig. You know, but I've got someone coming out next week to look at the land that we're on to see where the property lines all fall. I'm getting ready to probably invest and build out a 32 by 32 shop.
Wow.
I've been working in my garage now for years, and I am literally maxed out. There is no more, zero space.
Yeah.
32 by 32, that's a pretty good sized building.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. We'll have a room dedicated to, you know, the lawn supplies.
Sure.
So that'll take up some, and then I'll have a dedicated finishing room.
Yeah.
So right now, all of the finishing work has been either brush poly or wipe on poly.
Yeah.
And we do it upstairs in our bedroom.
Oh,
and the residual smell is incredible.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until, and so then your video on the critter, I went out and bought a critter, and I sent you that you know, like help me. It was so gummed up. I couldn't believe how much junk was in the nozzle.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it worked at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got it cleaned up. That is the what I think you even called it the sprayer for dummies or something like that.
Yeah. It really
It is as full as it comes.
It's so simple and so easy, and it literally was a game changer for me because I was not going to go in and buy all those HVLP sprayers, and you know,
Right.
I just didn't want to become a scientist and a maintenance guy on those spray guns. I just didn't want to. So the critter for me was a game changer.
Yeah. And then I'm working. I'm glad you posted that. I love your videos. If you can't figure that out, you guys' videos are just. I wish I could make it to your live broadcasts all the time. But typically, what happens is I'm either on a video call with my granddaughter, or I'm like so far away from something. It's like, or I'm in the shop. So it's. But you had posted a video about the Czar. I think it's Czar.
Yeah.
You said Czar, and it's water-based. So I've got to look into that because I'm really trying to get away from from all the poly-based stuff.
Yeah.
Just because of the oil-based stuff, just because it's the cleanup and having to keep all the chemicals.
Yeah.
And a huge shout out, if I can, to Old Man Bay. I've been watching some of his. Oh my God, you guys got everybody on here. There's so many talented people. It's insane. I could sit here, Pops and Jeff Dale. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are guys I just sit back and watch now, and so if I'm not watching your videos, I'm watching theirs. And but Old Man Bay, the shout out to him is he did that giant one for the artist. Was it Cass?
Yeah, Cass. Down in Texas. I know. Yeah, that was incredible.
I watched his YouTube video on that, and saw that he did his. He's not doing it now. He clearly uses a cry cut machine, but he used Mod Podge for that project, and I'd never tried that. I've always been, I've got a laser printer, and the transfer process with the laser printer's just not been fun for me at all. Very hard to follow the patterns. And so I tried I tried a bunch of stuff. I tried lacquer thinner, mineral spirits, and then I just went back to taping the pattern down and gluing it down, and that works for a while.
Yeah.
And then it gums everything up, and you get hung up, and then the pattern tears, and you can't see.
Yeah.
So I tried the Mod Podge, and I love it. And that's, for what I do today, that's what I will continue to use until I decide. The cry cut machine is great. I don't mean to bad haircut anybody's.
Are you talking about the Cricut machine?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's either, it was Bull that said it's cry cut. It's not really. Anyway, whatever. But it's
I
what
hated that thing.
they all call it a Cricut machine, but I think it is cry cut. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I just have nothing against folks that use it. I'm just trying to make a much smaller footprint, and I think that just, you go through a lot of vinyl, and to me, if I can do the same thing with some printed paper and some Mod Podge, that's what I'm going to try and do. But,
so tell us about the Mod Podge, your process, because I'm curious about that, because I've never done that. I've seen it done, I've heard about it done. So if you had a printed image that you wanted to put on the board, do you use laser jet or inkjet?
I'm pretty sure it's a laser printer.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't think it would matter a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
The videos I've watched, they showed both kinds, inkjet and laser jet, and there's no real difference. But
okay, so what's your process? How do you get that onto the board then?
It's real simple. You just print your paper with your pattern on it, and then you figure out where you want your placement for your pattern to be, and you can tape your paper upside. You want to print it in reverse, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I just tape it and then flap it up, and you just brush a copious amount of Mod Podge on, and then lay it down, and then use like a credit card and go over it to make sure there's no seams and no bubbles.
Yeah.
Just a nice light.
Is the Mod Podge wet at the time you do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like a thick layer of glue.
Yeah. It's like a paste almost.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of the consistency of our old paste that we used way back when we were little kids.
Back in the paper mache days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very much so. So yeah, you just use that credit card and scrape out the bubbles and the seams, and then you let it dry overnight.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the downsides, is that it's not a paste and go. You have to let it dry for 12 hours.
Yeah.
But then the next morning, you just lay down a very damp washcloth. You just lay on top of it and let it soak. Let it get moist, and then we use a sponge and just lightly rub. You get a feel for it. You just lightly rub, and it just comes off, and the pattern stays real nice on the wood.
Yeah, you can do that with photographs.
Yep, you can do the same with photographs. Yep.
Fascinating.
Yep.
So when you flip that up, then you put the Mod Podge on the board, like with
on the paper.
Oh,
on the paper.
Okay, not on the board.
Paper.
Do you have to
not
work
on the
board
board
at all? Do you dampen the board? Just on the paper.
Just the paper.
Yep. And it doesn't.
Just
and you put it on there just with a brush or one of those foam brushes or something.
Foam brush.
Got it. Got it.
Foam brush.
Yeah.
And just make sure you get good thick coverage. Not excessive, but a good coverage, and it works like a charm. I couldn't be happier with it.
Good. I'm gonna have to give that a try, because I've always wanted to. I just never have done it. But I'm gonna have to give that a try, because maybe that's another alternative that other people would use if they knew it was that simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the person and how quickly they need to turn around patterns. But I'm not in any hurry.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm really not even selling a bunch right now, if any at all. I had, when I posted that picture of my son's cabinet, number one, I should have prefaced by saying my wife and I don't build furniture or items like that for a reason, because we usually don't get drawers that close properly or corners that line up properly.
Right.
And that was a huge challenge for us, and it had its mistakes. But shortly after I posted that on Facebook and of my son receiving it and everything else, then I did have some folks reach out and ask for a 6-foot long sign to hang in their living room with a Bible verse on it.
Uh-huh.
And so I did that. That was by far my largest one, and I had worked with stain and so it took me a while.
Yeah.
I was really nervous, but yeah, it was fun. So I'm really starting to right now with a week to go at my job. I'm working on building up some inventory and getting ready to get the word out there that that I've got these basic core, what I consider some core items for sale, and then put myself out for some custom work too. So we'll see where it goes.
I'm excited for you, man. That sounds like fun. I'm really excited for you.
Thanks. We'll see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, I get to play with wood. How bad is that?
Yeah, no kidding.
So you're getting into some power carving and some epoxy work. You guys are going nuts over there.
Yeah, we're just trying to expand a little bit. You guys are getting so talented. I feel like I just have to keep upping the bar a little bit and try something new.
Yeah,
I understand.
Gosh, so much talent out there.
And I don't want to carve that. That's not my thing. No.
The power carve?
No, I'll power carve all day long.
Okay.
With the router, yeah, no, thank you. So
yeah, she leaves that to me. So we complement each other again pretty well. Where she's really more into the power carving, even though I want to do that as well. I want to get more into that, but the epoxy stuff, I'll let her stay with that, and we'll just make projects together. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but we kind of just feel like we need to keep kind of innovating and coming up with new stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I get it. And it's impressive stuff. We tried the epoxy, one of the very first projects we did. I'm not a fan. I don't, the consistency in the mix, and I'm sure there's more, different brands and things like that you can buy that probably work out better.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan. And the other thing is keeping something, that's just one more thing to keep on hand, and it's like,
Well, and if you're finishing in your bedroom,
you don't want
that could be an issue as well.
Right. And then I'd done the power carving before with a Dremel, and again, you guys, you have a very power carve, huh? Yeah.
It's affordable.
I've never had the opportunity to try one of those.
Oh, that thing is fun.
Yeah.
That thing is fun.
It's kind of addicting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and what I really like the idea is the possibilities of matching mixing the router work and the power carving together. Just so many different possibilities.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of fun. I just don't know that I can bring myself to get into one more thing, but we'll see. I can't say no.
Never.
No, at one point I would have looked at the freehand routing thing and said, there's no way I'm touching that. There's just no way. And then I'm like, okay, well, my son really wants that, wants this done. And I tried it, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah. But, we all have our things, and sometimes we evolve and move on to different things. I know there's some guys that start with, and gals that start with routing, and then they get into wood turning or maybe hand, whittling, like where you were at, or scroll saw or whatever. So, we're all just trying to figure out what we really like, and if some of us, then there's some of us that want to sell stuff and make a few bucks, but then there's some that don't, that just want to make it for friends and family or give them away or whatever. Everybody's at a different place, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to get out there and be able to build stuff for people and take some custom orders and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, we started off with the whole family thing, and it really reached a point where our family was like, yeah, we don't have enough room to keep anymore.
That's how I get the tables that I make. I've got more table than I have room right now.
There you go.
And I want to make another one, so.
But you know, there's something to be said, and you probably got a sense of this when you deliver that big 6-foot sign. Man, handing something to a customer and getting that immediate feedback, boy, there's.
I actually hung it on their wall for them.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something else. As they stood back and, you know, told me where they wanted it, and they were standing back watching it go up, and it was quite a feeling. You know, anytime anyone purchases something and they walk away with it, and you just got to think, you know, something you made is going in their home, and that is just so cool. And we just feel so blessed that someone would have enough, I don't know, appreciation for the craft and think that what we did was good enough for them to buy.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have some of the stories that we walked away out of the farmer's market with were like a young man had come in and bought a little box that we made, and we just wondered, and he said he was buying it for his girlfriend. And so we're like, I wonder if he's going to propose with that box, you know, just things like that. We had people tell us that, you know, for a scroller, and that's pretty much, you know, been the bulk of what I've done is scroll saw work. But I've had people say, there's no way you scroll that. You have to, you're using a CNC or you're using a laser cutter or something. Like, no, I scroll.
Yeah.
And it's just, I've only been scrolling for like 5 years. But for someone to, you know, give you that kind of compliment and you know, I've had items bought and shipped to England. Which is really cool. So I've had yeah, it's been a wild ride. So, and it's just so much fun in it.
Yeah,
there's just so much fun in it.
Well,
but you guys are getting ready to do your travel.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit the road. I wish I could. I looked up. You're gonna go to someplace in Texas.
Cedar Park, Texas. Yeah, just north of Austin. But you know, if it works out, we really want to take trips, different places, and go. You know, we'll come through Arkansas at one point.
There you go.
I've only been through there one time, but man, it was just it was stunningly beautiful. So
I actually can't believe that, given what you do, that you haven't been out to. And I mean, up here in Northwest Arkansas at War Eagle, they have twice a year huge craft shows. The biggest one is in the fall.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you should come up.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never been there. We just spent, you know, we spent so much time on the West Coast with horse shows and craft shows, county fairs, state fairs, and all of that. Back in the day when we did that, we spent so much time in the West Coast. We were so busy, we really never ventured hardly at all eastward. Not even Arizona. We were always over in California, but that was way back when. So
now I looked up the place in Texas, and that's almost 9 hours south west of us. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not. That's a little far for me.
Yeah, wait till we get closer. Yeah. But we really would like this to be, you know, maybe 2-3 times a year. Be able to take a week or 2 weeks and go somewhere and meet people all along the way, and then we're going to film it, make it content for the channel. So we're really excited. It's going to be a new adventure. And of course, I'm going to have my fishing gear on board. So who knows?
There's some good fishing here in Arkansas.
That's what I hear. Yeah. Well, you know, when I drove through there, it was like every place I looked, there was water. I mean, it was like, wow, it was all over the place. So yeah. We might have to put that on the agenda. Oh, we're getting long.
Okay,
Okay.
So we're kind of coming to the end, and we always ask the same question. what kind of advice would you give to somebody that's thinking about, maybe starting to carve some signs or, kind of checking it out? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, so a friend of mine that still lives in 29 Palms, California. She's been scrolling for 20 some odd years now. First of all, I told her to come visit you, and I told her to print off my face and put it on one of those boards, and then video call me while she's talking to you guys. So that, no, I mean, watch your videos, buy your router bits. I made the mistake of buying. I had already bought bits and had them being shipped to me before I'd caught your videos, and then you were talking about, our bits, especially the profile bit, is different than what's out there, and boy is it ever. it's entirely different. So yeah, I mean, and then just be patient, take your time. If you're going to work with wood, and especially with routers, safety. Just find out what works for you, and just be patient and enjoy it. There's no need to rush it.
Yeah.
I was telling you about the pattern methods. I went through all sorts of pattern attempts, and I finally just landed on one that I think is going to be the one for me. And it may not be that for somebody else, but just be patient and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But and watch Eric and Vicky's videos a lot.
There's a lot of them on there to watch.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, and join the minions, because those guys, the fellow woodworkers, the Sawdust brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Talk about an encouraging, blessing group of people. Nothing but encouraging folks out there, and Frank and Jeff and just all of them. There's so many to mention that I've visited with, and I'm just hardly getting into this yet, and and some of them are just getting started, and some of them have been doing it a while, but everybody's just so friendly, and advice. There's just a plethora of advice out there, and so.
And it really has the feel, or maybe it's just me, but I've heard this many times. It has the feel of being almost like kindred spirits, like we're just a family, almost like we're all cousins.
Yeah,
we're all
absolutely.
Family members. Yeah, it just.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
I don't know, maybe other groups are that way too, but man, I don't know. There's just something about working with wood.
It's not. This has been the only one really that I've found that has just really been. The scroll saw woodworking group is pretty good too, but nothing like the Minions group.
Yeah.
The Minions group is just a breed of their own, and it's just been awesome. Gigi's signs, wow. Watching her stuff. She was one of the first Zoom calls that I watched with you guys. Yeah. Very inspiring, as is Old Man Bay's story, and just and Jeff Dale and his. Thank you, Mr. Dale, for your service, and congratulations on your retirement. And just wow, what a great group. But thank you for taking the time out of your schedule, and happy birthday. And
thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. And no, it's an honor to have you on. And now everybody can, when they see your name, they'll have something to reference that to. Yeah. That's why we want to keep doing these Zooms, because it just brings us all closer, and we can contact each other. And the next best thing is for all of us to get together and meet someplace sometime.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And we'll see what we can do on that.
We'll see what happens after the Texas ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys be safe in your travels.
Oh, we will.
We will. All right.
And if you find the cheapest place on earth to buy some lumber, let us all know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, thanks again, Jeff. Thank you so much, man. We had a blast, and I know everybody's going to love this.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Really appreciate it.
You take
care.
Stay healthy.
Okay, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.